What's up, everyone? So if you read the quote and the scripture and the question of the day right now, you're probably like, Chad, these three things don't even make sense. They don't even seem to weave together. Like, that's not even a question. Did you know? But I did it on purpose, and there's a thread that I'm going to weave, and I think it's going to speak to you. So the quote is actually by a pastor. His name is Dan Mohler. It's one of my favorite pastors if you ever want to check him out. And the quote is, an idol is allowing for something to matter more than what matters most. And what he's referring to is sometimes a good thing, whether it's for me, for golf, or my work, or the gym. I've talked about this before. They matter to me. They're areas that I'm really focused on. But sometimes I allow those things in my life to matter more than what matters most. And it actually creates a lot of a turmoil. I refer to the hamster wheel or the roller coaster of life, the ups and downs. Why? Because with golf, one day I could play the best round of my life and feel like $1,000,000, and then the next day play the worst round of my life and feel like 2 cents. And if I put my identity and my idolatry in something that is constantly changing, I will in turn feel the effects of that. I'll be on said roller coaster or hamster wheel of life. The quote goes on to say, more than what matters most, and he's pointing to God because God is consistent. He's never changing. It says that he's the Prince of Peace. He's a good father. There are things that God says that never change. It goes on to say that he's omnipresent, omnipotent, which just means he's all present, he's all knowing. So that's why I actually chose Exodus 3, verse 14, when God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And I'm giving this scripture because I want you to realize that when you idolize things and you put them above God, you're gonna feel the effects of the hamster wheel and the roller coaster of life. But when you get the revelation that God is the I am that I am, that he is the Prince of Peace, and you focus on that. That is the number one priority. There's nothing that's above it. There's no idol that's above it. You will receive the peace and the stability that your mind and your soul needs. So the question, and this still probably doesn't make any sense, says, did you know? Because most people, after I've said all of this, and I hope you hung in there, if you're not a believer, probably are saying, well, Chad, you're just saying that, and God is basically this thing that you created in your mind to help you fall asleep at night, and it helps you not be scared of death, and it helps you through difficult circumstances, and it's just a tool. Hang in there. So, question of the day, did you know? So, I don't put my faith in just a thing. I put it in facts. And I'm about to do another mic drop, just like in my last episode. And my mic drops aren't about me, they're about God, because like I said, he is the I am that I am. So did you know that there is manuscript evidence? There are over 5,000 Greek manuscripts. That's 3 times the amount of Homer. So if you want to look at ancient civilizations and you think, Homer and all of that is accurate, 3 times the amount of Homer. The Dead Sea Scrolls, when we found those, they were thousands of years old and they were highly accurate. Also, so you take that into account, everything in the Gospels was an eyewitness account. So if this is accurate and the Gospels is an eyewitness account, it's based on what people actually saw and experienced. Number 3, the resurrection. You can explain, once you get into all of this, the empty tomb. There was a doctor, Dr. Alexander Metherall, explains that the medical impossibility of Jesus lasting all the way through his crucifixion. He was beaten. It says that he was unrecognizable, the lashes in his back. He had all of those traumas. He would have died way before the crucifixion. But he had to die by the crucifixion because of the prophecy. And I'm going to get to that point. Then the mass conversion. So something that I think is really important to realize is 2, 3, 4,000 years ago, religion was everything. They would have had to abandon all of their social practices. And that was a really big deal. They would have been cast out of friend groups. So for someone to go through such a radical change where they're willing to be like, I don't care what these people think, something had to happen. They had to have seen something. They had to experience something. And I think that's what happened to me. That's why I'm making these videos. I experienced something. I changed in a moment. And now I'm willing to abandon what everyone thinks is a social norm. Like being a Christian, people are martyred and made fun of. And to me, it doesn't matter because I have my faith in the facts, but also I'm rooted in a relationship with God. So fulfilled prophecy, you're taking all this into consideration. So there are over 300 specific fulfilled prophecies about Jesus' birth, lineage, method of death, specific betrayal of 30 pieces of silver, thousands of years before Jesus even walked the earth. The mathematical probability of all 300 specific prophecies happening are zero, like essentially zero. So there has to be some probability. But yeah, I can't even put into words the likelihood of all of that coming to pass unless you're getting the influence, you're getting the revelation from Exodus 3:14 that says, I am that I am. He's ever present, ever knowing. He's the author and the creator. The reason why is because they're not prophecies to God. They're facts. He decides when things happen, how they happen, and he's written the story. That's not prophecy. That's just God being God. So I didn't have room to write this, but this is one of the most compelling reasons as well. So, and I hope I can do this off the cuff. So the Bible was written through a span of like 2,000 or 3,000 years. There were 40 different authors throughout that time. They were born and raised in different cultures and different continents. They spoke different languages and they didn't even know each other. Simon Peter was a fisherman. Elijah was a prophet. Matthew was a tax collector. None of these people, I say all this because none of them really knew each other. And this was spanned 40 different people throughout 2,000-3,000 years. So they didn't interact with each other. It's not like they were texting each other, faxing each other information. This was supernaturally written and they wove a thread that you can't make up. That's why I made this video today. And my question is, did you know that? Did you know that there was way more factual evidence behind the life of Jesus? And did you know, part 2 of this is that when you put your faith in it, it says when you confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, you will be saved. You don't have to come into agreement with this big, man in the cloud, hopefully he's real one day. You can put it in the facts that the Bible is highly accurate and it's been ridiculed. People have ridiculed the Bible, but truth always prevails. And this is just another example of truth prevailing. So I hope this challenges you. And once again, the most important question is, did you know you could be saved by this? Shoot a comment below, shoot me a direct message if you have other questions. I'll pray with you. I'll do whatever it takes to help you come to this realization. So, God bless.